Hello, welcome to another Purple Insider Extra. Matthew Coller here along with Sam Ekstrom. A reminder to listen to our full podcasts wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in Purple Insider or use the link below and check out our written work, purpleinsider.substack.com. Sam, we have a new Minnesota Vikings offensive lineman. They have traded a 6th round pick for Mason Cole of the Arizona Cardinals. Your reaction, sir?
This can't be the solution. This is, I hope, if I'm a Vikings fan, this is my hope, that they are just replacing like Dakota Dozier or Brett Jones as a depth piece. Now, this is not dissimilar from how they've acquired other linemen in the past that they think might be underutilized or underappreciated in their current setting. A 7th round pick for Brett Jones, a 6th round pick for Jeremiah Searles. They acquired Nick Easton by trading a player in 2015. So they do tend to trade for offensive linemen that they value for whatever reason that might be. I don't think Mason Cole represents an upgrade, though, if you're going to make him a starter. Number one, he was not good at center in the 2 years he started. He was bottom 5 PFF grade both those years and very poor as a pass blocker. Number two, if you're moving him to guard, he's barely played guard in college or in the NFL. He was a left tackle primarily at Michigan, and he's been a center primarily at Arizona. So you're bringing in a player that has struggled and then moving positions. Like, there's no guarantees there at all. So you get him on this 1 year, like end of his rookie deal. It's a little perplexing to me. I feel like you could have paid the $2 million and found a veteran who had a little better of a track record. Mason Cole does not. Again, a little more mobile, probably built around the Vikings rushing attack, but there's not a lot about this move that inspires me.
You know, there are probably other teams, Sam, where you would give them the benefit of the doubt and you would say, hey, if you're trading for this guy, that must mean that your scouting department or your pro personnel, you see something in this guy and you know that he can fit in your system. But with the Vikings, they have not earned that benefit of the doubt for interior offensive linemen. I do think that if you're trading a 6th round pick for someone who becomes depth, who becomes in case of emergency, in case Garrett Bradbury goes down, you have this guy to step in. What Brett Jones was for them, although he was in case of emergency at times with Brett Jones, and we felt, maybe he should have been, an immediate backup option or even a starter. But if that's what Mason Cole becomes, then you've paid very little, a 6th round pick. This is where they usually get their kickers and punters and long snappers at the very end of the draft, and their big swings at the end of the draft on highly athletic players and things like that have really not worked out in recent years. So it's not a very high price to pay. It's not a very high price to pay for the salary cap. But like you said, if the plan is that you are going to start this guy at a different position than what he already plays, I mean, this would feel like they were trolling us. Like all the things that you're supposed to not do, that you've made mistakes on in the past, including, trading late picks for guys that, are asked to do more than they've ever done before, moving positions, looking at the numbers that say these guys are not very good and then playing them for 16 games. If you make the same mistakes like that with Mason Cole that you've made with these other guys, then I think that you have a very big right to criticize what they're doing here with Mason Cole. But I can't think that this is it, Sam.
No, I mean, right now, if Ezra Cleveland were considered to be a tackle, so if they moved him away from guard, their guards right now are Kyle Hinton and Drew Samia and potentially Mason Cole, maybe Oli Udoh and a draft pick. It's so uninspiring that it can't be the end. Now, there is some chatter. Maybe they'll try him out at center. The Vikings, made the move on Pat Elflein after 2 years that they felt were below average. Garrett Bradbury, really good at diagnosing before the snap. I think pretty good as a run blocker, not very good as a pass blocker, actually ranked below Mason Cole last year. So, I mean, it does help that he plays that position in case of emergency. And I wonder if maybe they'll at least experiment with him there. But then the domino effect is you're moving Bradbury to another position. And that's another mistake they've made, is trying to fix Pat Elflein and move him to guard. And we saw how that worked out. So again, it's a peculiar process if they're asking too much of this kid. And with the vision that we have right now, we can't see the future. it feels like they're going to ask too much of him. Still some time left to rectify this, but this is kind of a drop in the bucket move for me. This is not like a cure-all.
Now, I think if they were to move Garrett Bradbury to guard, there is some logic behind it. That would be that, his biggest weakness is going up against those nose tackles of the NFC North, and that they're able to get push on him and move him back into the quarterback. So maybe guard might offer a little bit easier of matchups for him. But I also feel the same way, that this is a guy you drafted in the first round to be your franchise center. And after 2 years, if you're just pulling the plug basically and saying, sorry, in order to make this work, we've got to move you around to a different spot, I really don't like the sound of that. And I also think, too, that if you're weak in a single area, defenses will find it. So you're not going to hide him from having guys push him back into the quarterback. That's just the thing that's going to happen. I think the best way to mitigate some of that effect is to have two really stout pass blocking guards that can help Garrett Bradbury and maximize his skills. And that does not look like what they've got in Mason Cole. So if this is just a move for depth, then I think it's fine. If it's a move for a starter, then we're just going down the same path we have gone many times before. Sam Ekstrom, Matthew Coller, Purple Insider Extra. We will have lots of reaction, including from Jeremiah Searles, former Vikings offensive lineman, to this move on our podcast, The Purple Insider. Make sure you check that out, and we'll catch you next time on Purple Insider Extra.